Hi, Justin here, Impulse Fly Fishing. And today what I'm going to do is do a video on how to tie a mop fly. Not really a complicated fly, but a very, very effective fly. We've used mop flies all over Missouri and Iowa and some other areas and done very well with them. It's a fly that you do not need expensive or fancy equipment for. I'm going to be working here with a simple beginner's vise just to show you how simple this thing is. And we're going to dive right into it right here. What we're going to do is we're going to start with a jig head somewhere in the 1/80th, 1/100th range. I prefer 1/80th and 1/100th of an ounce myself. And this is what my wife prefers as well when she's working on these things. So what we're going to do is also use a mop fly body. You can tell looking at this, this is the unfinished end and this is the factory finished end. When you tie this down, you want to tie down the unfinished end to keep it from raveling. And then this mop fly will last a really long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our beige yellow thread. We're going to lay down a thread base on this jig. What you do is just lay it down. Once you get it started really well, you clip off the tag, put that in your little trash can, and then I wrap it maybe 1/3 to halfway down the hook. And then as I'm coming back up the hook shank, I stop it about 1/8 of an inch from the head. That's where I like to tie it on. Again, take your mop fly body, find the unfinished end versus the finished end. Lay it on top of the hook. Give it a couple of loose wraps to get it in place. And then really start wrapping that collar. Now, there's different versions of mop flies, but this is the simplest. It just has a mop fly body laid on top of the hook, and then you just create your collar with the thread. You just wrap it around and around until you have a nice even collar that looks nice for the lure or the fly. So basically we've got it right there. This is it. And so you grab your whip finisher, pull out a little extra thread, put a couple of whip finishes on it. I usually do it twice. Get it up there tight, put another whip finish on it, get it up there tight again. This is the simplest mop fly out there to tie. Your finished product looks like this, and this thing hangs in the water, upside down obviously because of the weight, hangs in the water like that, and it catches fish. It's a fish catching little fly that we use all the time. Then when I'm done with them, I put them over here on a piece of packing foam from an Amazon package until they're ready for me to put the head cement on them, and then they're done. But that is the first version of the mop fly. That one is a cream colored mop fly. I'm also going to and do another version of that same fly. Let me get a white head out here. Again, starting with the 1/80th to 1/100th ounce jig head. Put this in the vise. Get it in there pretty tight. Grab the yellow thread. And then you lay down a base. Once you go back over your original base a few times and you lock it in, cut off the tag, and then go back to it. Again, maybe 1/3 of the way down the shank, then back up. You want to make sure that thread base is nice so that the fly doesn't slip around on there. Everything on there is slick. The paint, the metal, it's all slick. So this is a same mop fly with a slight change. Again, unfinished end, finished end. Put the unfinished end up at the collar of the fly and loosely wrap it on there a couple of times. Actually, let's change this up. Let's go back and let's go down about 3/16 of an inch. Because what we're going to do is we'll add an attractor to this one. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put 2 loose wraps, and then we're going to kind of pull it tight and then wrap it on pretty good. So wrap it around and around until we get all that mop fly material smashed into the collar, and it pretty much disappears. Now, to give this mop fly a little bit more appeal, we're going to throw on some of this UV thread that's got a little UV attractant to it. You can see it kind of glowing in the video there. This is called an attractor. Just put it in at the head of the fly. So right at that 3/16 inch mark. Once you get it wrapped in there with 3 or 4 good wraps, cut off the tag end of the attractant UV body thread. Wrap your tying thread back forward, and then just take this thread, the UV thread, and build up a little bit of a body on the collar. Don't pull it too tight because it's not super duper strong. Again, this is just our attractant. So you wrap it around. I have a lot of line out here because I'm going around my other bobbin. But what this does is this takes a very effective fly and adds the element of ultraviolet to it, which is particularly good, we have found, in high sunlight. So on days that are blue sky with a lot of light, I love these with this little UV attractor. Now when you get to the end, you're just going to wrap your collar, but just make it short right by the head of the jig. So go around that 2 or 3 times. Snip the tag of this UV body thread, and then just wrap a couple more times, and then do a normal whip finish. These ones with the attractors have a much more exciting name than cream mop fly. These are called Sheila Specials. That's my wife. And she loves to have the attractor on there and feels like it really helps her catch more fish. So I got that tied off with 2 whip finishes. And now I'm going to show you what this thing looks like. It may be hard to see. Maybe I can put a little UV on it and you can kind of see how this stuff glows. It's kind of interesting, but it definitely attracts fish on bright sunny days. Again, simple mop fly, simple tie, nothing difficult, no fancy rotating vise, just a basic vise. And here we are creating some of the most effective trout flies that are out there. So the next one I'm going to do is the same thing, only it's a different color. So we have pink jig head there, 1/80th ounce to 1/100th ounce. And then I have what I call a peach, but it's kind of a pinkish color on this mop fly body. Same thing, unfinished end, finished end. So we're going to lay this on here. Well, we're going to have to lay down a thread base first. So, and then on this, I definitely like UV thread on this. Look at that glow. I love that glow. So let's lay down a thread base here. We're not even going to put an attractor on this one. The reason why is the collar itself, this white UV thread, is going to act as the attractor on this. Plus, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but even the head of this thing glows UV. It's hard to see, but it definitely does. So we've got the thread base laid down. We're going to put the mop fly body on. A couple of loose wraps to get it in position. Tighten it down, and then we're going to make our collar. So we wrap around and around, get the mop fly body laying underneath this white UV thread. Even that out a little bit. And then we're going to tie our whip finish just like we did before. Now, with this pink head and UV white thread, this thing stands out like a sore thumb under the water. And this one happens to be my favorite color. Sheila likes the cream, thus we call those the Sheila Specials. And here's this one, complete, and then under UV light. You can see the head glow and you can see the collar glow. This one is named the Iconium Peach. Now, the reason we came up with Iconium Peach is there's a town in Missouri called Iconium, and they sell the most wonderful peach floats in the world. If you live in Missouri, you probably know about them, especially if you've got a kid that's in Boy Scouts. You know about Iconium and you know about the peach floats. Anyway, these are now ready to go and be sealed with head cement or UV glue. So I'm going to kind of cut off right here, and then we'll get those glued up, and then we'll take them out this weekend and give them a try and see if we can take you through the making of the fly, taking the fly out to the stream and trying to catch some fish. Thanks for being here with me.
We made it to the stream, and we're going to try some of these flies that my husband tied this week.
I still can't fly. Oh, she said we were going to try the flies. I misunderstood. Anyway, welcome to Impulse Fly Fishing. We're going to give these flies. Is it a brim?
It's a brim or something. We had a great weekend fishing with the flies that my husband tied.
She's right. It was a great weekend on the stream, and we fished the mop flies that we showed you how to tie earlier in the video. So here's the results. The Sheila Special, which is a cream mop fly with a little bit of an attractor onto it. We didn't catch a fish on that one. Very strange, because that's a good pattern, but we just did not catch any. Now, as far as the Iconium Peach, that one, we caught a ton of fish. It's like the fish couldn't leave it alone. Now, I don't know what the difference was, if it was water conditions or sunlight, weather, or what it was, but that's fishing. You got to be versatile. And the neat thing is we caught these fish on flies that we made. And so that's kind of a wonderful feeling when it goes from the fly tying bench to the stream and it catches fish. Anyway, thank you for watching here on Impulse Fly Fishing, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.